Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the 7th episode of Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War. This episode is the episode which had the most anime exclusive content. They added more scenes that were not in the manga. They developed and showed the original Gotei 13, which was also not in the manga, and which was done purposefully for this episode. We get to see all the Gotei 13, the original ones, in action at the beginning of the episode, which is a really great addition to the story and makes total sense and enhances the viewing experience, gives us context on the first time that yhwach or yhwach appeared, and gives room for a future story or plotline to develop off of these new characters. We don't know anything about these characters, and that's what is so great about it. They bring a new hype and let people speculate on who does what based solely off of their looks. They also changed the end credit scenes to go with the original Gotei 13. We also get to see Unohana in the original Gotei 13, which was the first Kenpachi, and we get to see her be the savage killer that she once was, and which will later on be explained in the rest of the series. We get to see the original fight between the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's, and it goes to show the raw power that they possess. They were absolutely tearing down all the Quincy's inside, and they were using all the strategies needed, no matter what the cost was to get the job done. This whole 2-minute scene is backed up by this intense background music that goes to hype up the original Gotei 13 and showcase their power. Here's a little clip of that music. It's basically like a really intense victory battle song and really sets a contrast to the rest of the episode. We get to see a young Shunsui see a painting of Yamamoto's battle with yhwach, and that is the last of a normal, happy color palette that is used in this episode. This episode was absolutely heartbreaking to watch. Everything was so dark and sad, and filled with despair. The manga brought this feeling as well, but with the animation and the background design and the set design and the color palette and just the overall tones of Ichigo's voice actor and everybody's voice acting, it really set the tone of despair and darkness and really hits you hard. Everybody sounds absolutely despaired and broken down, which is great to see that the anime brings that depth of emotion, not only through the story, but like every single other detail that comes with the story. We've officially seen the death of Captain Yamamoto. He's cut in half by yhwach, and the top of his half falls to the ground. But the thing is, his lower half stays standing, as if to show that the battle is not done yet, and that he's still standing, like in opposition to yhwach. Yamamoto's death is pretty impactful on the Watcher and all the characters in Bleach. The strongest pillar that they know and trust to get the combat over has just been killed. This death just adds so much tension and like to that sense of despair that we already felt, and just came to confirm that feeling that was already being brought home. It's quite sad to see him go, and it really goes to drive home the point that yhwach is a new enemy and he's also in a new league of his own. We get to see a speech of yhwach, who kind of says that the reason that Yamamoto lost is because he let peace guide him, and he's not like a band of just serial killers anymore. He actually has stuff to protect. After that, we finally get to see Ichigo get out of his jail. Ichigo was stuck in this jail, and all he could do was watch and sense his comrades die. Then he comes upon like Rukia, Renji, and Byakuya, who are still alive but like really badly hurt. So Byakuya tells Ichigo that he must save the Soul Society and that he's putting his trust in Ichigo's hands. The rain in the background of these scenes really comes to emphasize that despair feeling that I was talking about, and the voice acting done by Ichigo is so well done, portraying that message of despair. We get to see Ichigo's first appearance and ass-kicking against yhwach, which the animation certainly did justice. The voice acting from Ichigo is really well done, like I've said before. You really understand and feel that sense of despair of losing all of his comrades one by one and not being able to do anything. All that emotion, packed with the death of Yamamoto, and then his Bankai being broken, and then yhwach absolutely kicking his ass, made for such a great voice acting performance. One of the biggest twists came in this episode with the fact that Ichigo finds out that he's a Quincy from his mother's side, and that comes to absolutely mess with his head. With all like the despair felt, Ichigo now feels lost and doesn't really understand or know what to do with the information that he's now a Quincy. We see the first fight of Ichigo versus yhwach, who comes to prove that he is a Quincy right before being able to kill Ichigo. We see that he's that he's able to use blood vene, which stops the attacks that yhwach is hitting Ichigo with. This moment comes and adds to the confusion and despair that was brought on the Soul Society by the Quincy's. When Ichigo's Bankai breaks, it really also had an impact, and it goes to show how strong the enemy is, and comes to add that sense of desperation that we feel all along this episode. A cool little bonus to this very dark episode is how Aizen was able to mess with yhwach's senses during the small period that they were together, and that could have totally messed up his plans. This whole episode was dark as hell and really hammered that sense of despair and sadness and death that comes with getting most of your people slaughtered. The voice acting in combination with the color palette, the sound effects, the music in the background, Yamamoto's death, Ichigo's broken Bankai, all really made us feel like we were in the pits of despair. This is the most impactful episode up to now for sure, and will shape the rest of the story to come. It was a sad few chapters to read in the manga, so I'm glad that the anime was able to do it justice and enhance and make us feel that same feeling through this episode. So there you have it, a complete review of the 7th episode of Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments. It was certainly the saddest episode up to date and the most impactful one as well. Everything about this episode was well done and will be shaping the rest of the series for sure. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want more of this content, because right now YouTube algorithm is kind of kicking my ass. So see you all in my next video. Bye.